I ain't a
And
billionaire.
I've dated some real horrible billionaires, honey. They not good all the time. Sometimes they're crazy, Steve, and that's why I had to stop taking your advice.
You didn't pick the one I told you to.
Steve, the billionaires
Because you
are terrible.
Because you don't listen to who I tell you.
Them billionaires be having 4 and 5 and 6 other wives.
Well, you the one over there and got them. I ain't never bought you nobody like that. You gonna sit your crazy ass up here and say that?
See, he knows I'm right. He knows I'm right.
You just a lie. You're not finna sit up here.
Them billionaires. Don't believe what you hear.
Keke Palmer, you not finna sit up here and act like I done turned you on to some bad dude. You do not listen to me.
I do.
No,
When
you
told
don't.
me about these billionaires, I said,
no, I told you, but I didn't tell you to go get him. The hell you go get him
But he was
for?
a billionaire. He had a plan. He was just lying about it all.
But I didn't tell you to get.
Stop the cap.
So, I saw this whole thing about Keke Palmer and, her dancing with Usher, and everybody's talking about it. I was just going to let the opinions roll in before I spoke on it. And I did for a little bit. First person I heard was Samantha Cooker. And man, is that woman annoying. But, she gives the sort of insight into the, just all over the place and flawed thinking of women. Even though I will agree with her, on, the traditional aspects. I like the question that she asked, because she asked the question at the beginning of her video. She was like, when is because she knew she was going to get some sort of pushback, but she was like, when is it time to put the clothes on? Like, when is it time to cover up? You know what I mean? And she had to make a disclaimer about being a traditional woman, basically because modern black women don't want to hear that. So she had to make this disclaimer, at the beginning of her video. She's like, I know before y'all snatch my edges, that's literally what she said. Before y'all snatch my edges, right? Talking about, black women and traditionalism and traditional roles, right? And, she went into, she went into this, and it's always framed like this, where black women are always the victims, and and black women are so loyal, and we're down for black men, and we support them, and we love black men too much. All this garbage, that black women throw up to try to mask and hide, their poor choices, even though, she acknowledged that she's still mad about Nicki Minaj going out there and choosing who she chose. I don't know what more evidence black men need. We got, I addressed the video, about Chrissy addressing Umar Johnson in the Daily Wrap-Up show, or Wrap-Up crew yesterday. You know what I mean? And it's like, what irritates me about Chrissy is, like, no matter what, she's always got to inject colorism into the conversation. Even if the conversation has nothing to do with colorism, she's going to bring up colorism. And what I got to say, to watching Samantha Cooker's video and Pink Book Lessons video, on this subject, is where's the colorism? If anybody's engaging in colorism, it's Keke Palmer, because she went out and got herself this Chris Brown looking, light skin, racially ambiguous. I think he's Afro Latino, Afro Panamanian or something. That's what Samantha said. And when you look at the dude, I mean, what is this? Christopher Williams 2.0, right? And obviously he makes less than her, and is not as financially successful as her. I don't know what he does. I didn't dive into the details, right? But one of the things that in the video that Samantha Cooker did, she had a clip of one of the women that were talking, and I agreed with her, where she said, he should have handled this, quietly. Like, he didn't need to post it, and he posted a tweet. I totally agree with that. I'm like, you got a problem with what she's wearing, pull her to the side and say something about it. But see, here's the problem. And this is going to be a lesson on both sides, because he's not in a position to check her about anything. Not with the type of money that she's making, and he's just this, essentially pretty nobody. I even, I updated Cap on the, the whole situation, and we had a couple jokes back and forth, and I was like, yeah, not a dark skinned dude, this is a light skinned dude, and that whole pretty boy thing, and I already know Cap would never, because women tried it back in the late '80s and '90s. Not I would. Well, personally, I would never, but I'm saying Cap. I know that Cap would never put himself in a situation like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know what this dude was thinking. You thinking that you're going to somehow, regulate and check this woman, right? And here's the thing. Like, I see a lot of women focusing on him. Oh, he's dusty. She dated down and all this other bullshit. Which she did. Which reinforces what we've been saying about, the behavioral issue with black women. And it's not just a matter of them being successful. Black women can be successful and they could date men that are on their level or above, but they won't do it. They won't do it. Nick, again, even Samantha Cooker, who I, take issue with a lot of her commentary, even she agrees Nicki Minaj had no business getting with whatever his name is, Pettiford or whatever his pedigree, whatever, pedophilia, whatever his damn name is. Okay. She had no business getting with him. Sierra, yeah, Future's got, $40 million, but Future also had, 4 baby mamas when Sierra came across him. No business getting with him. No business at all. You know? And then you got this Keke Palmer. She goes out here and gets with this dude. If you want to throw, Halle Berry up there, she goes out there and gets with the underwear model. You know what I mean? I don't know where sisters are winning. And then we go with the George Lucas and his wife, and George Lucas is white man, and he married the black woman that was in charge of Citibank, I think it was Citigroup, or whatever, and black women will jump up and they'll try to champion that, and act like all these women that we're getting with brothers or black men or blackish men, like what Keke got with, that they could have gone out there and got Grant Wellington the third and everything would have been better. I'm like, no, these women are intentionally making these decisions, and y'all want to call it black women bashing every time we say that y'all engage in reverse natural selection. Y'all engage in matriarchal ways of developing relationships because you want to do whatever the hell it is you want to do. You want to do what the fuck you want to do. This is one of the things that even Pink Book Lessons pointed out in her video, and I'm so glad that she said it. We've been pointed this out. Myself, Captain So, we were the number one people pointing this out. These women are choosing, loser men or subordinate men so that they can call shots in the relationship. They're doing it intentionally. This is not a matter of, I had no choice. This is not a matter of the numbers aren't available. It's not a matter of that. They don't want to deal with patriarchal men. They don't want to deal with the full package of what comes with a man that's on that level. And during, the listening to Samantha Cooker's video, somewhere in there, she said, and Keke Palmer doesn't like to date millionaires and billionaires. Like one of her, either her or her followers said it, and then she repeated it. And I was like, oh, let me go see if I can find this Steve Harvey interaction with Keke Palmer. So I just typed in Keke Palmer doesn't like to date millionaires or billionaires. Steve Harvey comes up, and I can give you the short clip or I can give you the long clip. But like she tries to go, she's like, basically the millionaires, they weren't the type, that she liked and all this other stuff. And Steve Harvey was talking to her about the dude being a pretty boy. And she tried to basically argue that these men had all these sorts of flaws, finding some way to disqualify him. And Steve was like, that's not who I set you up with. That's not who I told you to get with. You know what I mean? You don't listen. And I'm so glad he said it. He said, you don't listen. And he was trying to be nice about it. They're up there joking, back and forth about it. Again, I can give you the short clip. I'll probably put the short clip in this video because it saves space. But I'll put the link in the description box of the 9-minute clip of them going back and forth, about, and this is most likely before, she met, this light skinned dude that she got with and had the baby and all that other stuff, because she wanted to have pretty light skinned babies. Ain't nobody gonna talk about, her level of colorism and self-hate and whatever else is going on. Samantha Cooker touched on it a little bit because she kept bringing up this whole pretty babies, and that's what he's bringing to the table, and pretty babies. And this goes right into one of the things that Captain Solo can't stand about light-skinned dudes, being used for the purposes of making babies, but they're not valued like that. They're not desired in that way other than for, the colorism bullshit of white supremacy and making pretty babies with good hair and all this other shit, so that the child is not, black as night, right? And, which highlights whatever issues that, Keke has, with herself or what she's absorbed from society or from childhood or whatever. I don't know her full backstory and whatnot, but, even Cap's just like, he's like, this is what the issue is with light skinned dudes trying to leverage their good looks, by black community standards, to try to get somewhere. Like, you cannot, fuck your way to the top as a man. It doesn't work like that. So, Cap is just totally against, the being the pretty boy, the light skinned dude, all that other stuff. Talks about how he stopped smiling after, I think he was 10 years old or something like that, 9, 10 years old, something like that. He stopped smiling in photos. He had like this belt that he built. I forget what grade it was, but it was a belt and it lit up and it had a whole bunch of lights on it, LED lights. And or maybe not LED lights, but like just lights hit his belt. And he had a black girl basically come up to him accusing him of not creating it. Because he was light skinned, he was pretty. That's his role here. Is just to be, the pretty, light skinned boy that can't do anything. Meanwhile, he's out here trying to, deal with, the growing idea of hypermasculinity and deal with the idea that, he's not a damn girl. He's not a woman. And see, this goes into the whole men and women in the black community adopting these ideas of light equals femininity and everything that comes with it, and dark skin equals masculinity and everything that comes with it. So obviously dark skin is going to hurt the women more than it's going to hurt the men, and light skin is going to, hurt the men more than it's going to hurt the women. And again, this whole situation, him thinking, he's not married to the woman, and then he thinks that somehow he's going to be able to check her. I'm like, you're not in a position to check her. She got with you because you're not in a position to check her, and you don't get that shit. That shit is that shit is crazy. But again, everything that we have said, especially Captain Solo, again, go back and listen to that Cat Fu series about him pointing out that, these women are avoiding men, who are on their level or above because they want to be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do and call shots in the relationship. And so, the other sad thing is you got, between like, Samantha Cooker and she had a gang of comments and women and you can read the comments over there and all this cheering going on. Even in the responses to, what Darius, posted, which again, I think it should have been in private, but all these black women praising it, co-signing it, and then trying to make it about, it's her body, her choice, that he can't check her and all this stuff. Right. And it's very weird. And I like what Pink Book Lesson said, because she pointed out, she was like, they were basically saying that, he's trying to get the benefits of marriage without marrying her, right? But they want to put it in the context like in the context like he like yeah, he did fuck up. 100% he fucked up. But this is what Keke wanted. So y'all are talking about, being married and why aren't they married? Y'all need to throw that question just as much at Keke. You know what I mean? She's the one that had this dude's baby. You know what I mean? I don't like this is the type of shit that women do that pisses men off, and why you all get roasted online all the time. Where you want to say it's black woman bashing. Because you all are equal participants in this fuckery. And a lot of times, again, you're more participants because you planned this shit out. You get a guy who's, let's just go with the idea, he's dumb. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He's thinking some stupid shit in his head, like, yeah, I run shit, because she loves me. He's thinking some stupid shit. And she's like, yeah, whatever, nigga. But she's got all the levers of power. You see what I'm saying? Like, who's more culpable in that situation? The idiot or the one that knows the other person is an idiot and then takes full advantage of the fact that they're an idiot? You know what I mean? It's like if a man was out here and he was dating a girl, that had Down syndrome, and then he tried to talk some shit about, I don't know, some fight or some argument, and he took advantage of her. You know what I mean? Like, people are gonna look at him like he's the problem, he's the monster. She has Down syndrome. How dare you, right? That's what they would say. But if a woman comes through and takes advantage of a man that doesn't know any better, somehow it's like, here we go back to the whole, oh, men are evil, it's the man's fault, oh, by default, right? And this is why, a lot of men just really don't like women. Okay, because a person that doesn't know some shit, a person that's ignorant, you can kind of forgive that. But when a person goes out here and they do some shit with malicious intent, and then they throw rocks and hide their hands, you begin to to develop a hatred for that person, a contempt for that person, because they're always getting away with the bullshit, and that they did the shit intentionally because they were trying to get whatever selfish gain that they wanted to get out of it. And when it comes to, Keke and many of the other women, doing all this, all black women always want to come to the internet playing the victim. Again, acting like, again, niggas are just running around waving their hand using Jedi mind tricks on them. These are not the droids that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just act like that's what black men are running around here doing. And they're not sitting there looking and going, ooh, I don't want. I mean, again, Keke is the worst. Actually, she's the best example. But I'm saying she's the worst sister for black women to try to scapegoat or run away. Scapegoat black men or try to run away. From the realities that we see here. Okay, she had plenty of opportunities up there on Steve Harvey's show talking about what's wrong with the millionaires that she was dealing with when they're not even the ones that Steve Harvey told her to get with. She doing her own thing, you know what I mean, playing games, running around, right? She had the opportunity and she fucked it up, and then went out there and got her a light-skinned pretty boy to make a baby with, and now this is what she has to deal with. Nobody should be feeling sorry for her. But see, since it's a lot of black women's, orgasmic fantasy to run around and just basically have a man, have a baby, and then have the individual personal freedom to do whatever the fuck they want to do, that's why they're sitting around cheerleading this. And not only that, again, going back to Pink Book Lessons, and she said it right at the beginning of the video. This is why black women are the most unmarried demographic in the world. I mean, seriously. I should just say America, but they're the most unwed demographic, in America. Because this is what they want. I mean, the shit that they jump up and down. I mean, go and listen to that Samantha Cooker video. And listen to all that cackling, all the hyena laughing and shit. And they just acting like, yeah, girl, all this dumb shit. And then Samantha's like contradictory, because she believes in traditionalism to the extent, like Aisha K. Faines, to the extent that they can extract resources from a man, which again, now young men are on to you because it's like, oh, so it's just about resources. It's not actually really about love or you genuinely caring about us or liking us in any particular way. It's just about what the fuck you can get. That's another reason why sisters get called, gold diggers, which also further contributes to, like, when you line all these, very visible black women up, the Nicki Minaj's, the Sierras, Keke Palmer, right? And who am I missing? I know there's somebody else I'm missing that went out here. Like, y'all just got a whole track record of, like, you can look at it two ways, right? You can look at it from the standpoint of the women who are intentionally going out there and getting with subordinate dudes so they can call shots in their relationship, or you can look at it from the standpoint, of the women who, just don't know how to pick dudes. And either way, you end up with a situation where, black women are not, they're never on the, like, seemingly on the arm of a high value man. They're never on the arm of it, especially a lot of your brown or dark skinned women. They're never on the arm. They have the opportunities to be, but a lot of them choose, differently. You know what I mean? And I don't know whether you want to consider Nicki Minaj light skin or dark skin. I'm gonna put her in the light skin category. But I'm just saying, a lot of black women, y'all go out here and this is what people see of you. So then when you turn around and you're like, I demand this and I demand that and I want this and I want that, and then you start saying all that, yeah, of course people are gonna look at you like you crazy. It's like, chick, you was over here taking back shots in the back seat of, somebody's car and shit like that. Now all of a sudden, now you talking about you want a 5-star hotel and all this other shit. No, they're not. They're not gonna look at you like that because there's too many examples of y'all out here accepting bullshit, role reverse situations and all that. There's too many examples of that. It's like where are you being associated with status and wealth and all that other stuff and locking it down and actually being, the virtuous woman to where nobody can talk any shit. You know what I mean? Not just you waking up on the left side of bed and deciding, my cookies is worth it when you got, 2 kids by somebody else or some other dumb shit. You know what I mean? Y'all always want to put value on yourselves after the fact, after you're used, after you're ran through, after you have a bunch of babies and start talking about course correction, as opposed to putting value on yourself when you actually have the highest state of value when you are young and you are childless and nobody knows, how many people done ran through you and whatnot. That's why Lori Harvey is out here fucking up. You know what I mean? I'm like, how many more public dicks are you going to sit on, chick? You know what I mean? She's fucking up. Like, Lori could have went out there and got with, she was with Michael B. Jordan. If she goes out here and she, runs past, runs the clock out and ends up like Claudia Jordan, you know what I mean? Or Vivica A. Fox, right? If she runs the clock out, what is going to be said? And again, I'll throw her in the light skin category. We know she's definitely in the light skin category. You know what I mean? But it's the mentality, it's the culture, it's the black female American culture that is up for examination here. Damn the colorism. It's the culture. And like, even with like Chrissy's video the other day talking about, light-skinned women, they're getting married more than dark. First off, I'm like, I don't even know where light-skinned women are winning like that, because a lot of black men are not even checking. Again, passport bros. That means another fucking country. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not, like, in other words, and I used to have this conversation with Cap, like that, a lot of brothers are not checking for quote unquote light-skinned black women because light-skinned black women still carry the same black female culture. They still carry black American culture, which is what black men are trying to get away from. So they may go out there and they get a woman that may, again, in the expanded light skin universe, that may look like, a woman that is a woman of color or has some degree of black, ancestry. And then in America, she would be filed underneath a lighter skinned black woman. But, even though you know, she's more likely leans heavier to being mixed, right? But what they're getting away from is they're getting away from the culture. You know, if I go down to and when you go to elsewhere in the world, I mean, I think 73% of the Brazilian people in Brazil are Pardo. Like, there's more mixed people than there are people who are white or black. You know, so when you go elsewhere in the world, you're gonna get these, and because a lot of the they didn't have Jim Crow and segregation. I mean they had other shit going on in Latin America. I'm just saying you're gonna get more women who in their country they're black, they're negra, they're this, they're that, right? But if you bring them to America, sisters will be the first one to say that no, she's not. I mean they even do this to Mara La Negra. Where they're like, nah, she ain't black, black, black. I mean, they get on that type of tip. Because we get into the whole, you got to look like, either, Bria Sykes, or you got to look like Lupita Nyong'o in order to be, a black woman. So anyway, what was I say? Oh, the other thing that Pink Book Lessons, brought up, it's like the women were so focused on the, he wants marriage privileges without marrying her, and I mean, it's had to be the best response or comeback to that ever. Because she was like, it's funny because a lot of you all are getting on black men about not protecting the black women but you're not married to any of these men. You want any random nigga on the streets to come and protect you, screaming the black woman is not protected. I was like, ooh, got him. I was like, that's a damn good point. That's a damn good point. All this, you need to protect black women, like just any random black woman that's not your wife on the streets solely because they're black women. But when it comes to this man talking about, you need to not have your ass out there because you're a mother now, right? Which is a valid point, but he's not in a position to really say anything to her. I'm sorry, but he got suckered. And in my opinion, this is the beginning of the end. Because eventually if he's got this mentality, you know what I mean? What she does is only going to further irritate him. I think they already unfollowed each other on whatever social media, Instagram or whatever the fuck it was. They already unfollowed each other. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good. You know what I mean? But this is what happens when you get, women who want, to call the shots, run the show, go out there, intentionally do some shit like this. You get men that don't see it for what it is. You know what I mean? They're just happy. Oh, I'm getting some pussy. Oh, and I'm like, dude, you're done. You're done. I mean, just plain and simple. But you got all these black women that are running around. I mean, it's so clear. And again, I'm not making this up. Go read the comments over on Samantha Cooker's page. None of the passport bros are making this up. Y'all can try to hide behind colorism and everything else all you want. This is the problem, because you can't do anything with this. You can't do anything with this type of behavior or these type of belief systems where y'all literally think that you're going to run out here and do whatever the fuck you want to do. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get some sort of productive simp to come through who has resources and then just like opens his wallet to you that allows you to do whatever the fuck you want to do and doesn't check you or doesn't say anything about you. You want them to act like the government where you just have access to resources and you're not being checked at all, right? You don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to negotiate the terms of your survival with a man, right? You don't have to negotiate resources with a man. That's ultimately what you all want, which again is fine. I'm not knocking you. You want to be independent, all that other stuff, fine. You know what I mean? But understand that the relationships, the marriages, all that stuff it's an exchange. And especially when men have the burden of responsibility of taking care of y'all and providing and everything else. No, you don't just get to run around and do whatever the fuck you want to do. You know what I mean? There are expectations that men have when it comes to being their wife. You are a reflection of him and a representation of him. And when he gets around his other high value males, you know what I mean? Like that is how they compare notes and stuff like that. Like, who did you marry? Oh, your wife. Oh, I love your wife. Oh, she's such a, she's such a, a great hostess or whatever. Like, like even the black men that I know that are married to white women, every time I want to, like, 'cause I got this pro black streak in me, right? Every time I want to poo poo on these white women, it's damn near impossible too. You go over there. I mean, before my freaking beer is empty, they even see my beer empty. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, a cold one. They come over. Oh, you need another beer? Bam. Cold one is in my hand. I'm like, ain't this some shit? They running around, right? I can already hear a black woman. I'm not your slave. What you think this is? Huh? You got feet. You know what I mean? Like, they're all type of shit. But, again, go over to black man's house. They got a white wife and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like, she's like this, evangelical conservative and shit. And just over there, just, doing a whole bunch of stuff. Making sure the hors d'oeuvres are there. I'm like, you put this whole plate together. It got grapes on it. It's got salami on it. Got some ham. You know what I mean? Got crackers on it. I'm like, oh shit. Got some Oreos in the corner. I'm like, oh, you did all this? Like, I'm like, oh shit. And then you come online and you listen to black women and the Cynthia G, I ain't doing that, niggas, dusty, chest back dusty, man, you hear all that, man, you like, man, fuck that, man. Why? Like, why would you want to deal with that? Y'all went up there, y'all talking crazy about the Filipinos. They came back, and double clapped and roasted y'all. I'm like, oh my God, man. You don't even, they're not educated. A Filipino woman got the video, got all the Philippine universities and shit. Like, I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Mind you, they're all responding in English when you're saying they can't even speak English. Every video they posted was in English. I'm like, not a good look. Not a good look. And again, like, y'all run around and y'all talk so much shit on black men. And you act like the reason why, other races are not interested in you is because what black men are saying, and you're completely ignoring your own behavior. Again, black men did not make two women go up on OM and chastise a childless man in front of the whole world about not wanting to get with a single mother when he has no kids. Okay? Black men did not make, Keke wear that dress and, show her ass off when she just had a baby, less than 150 days ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, black men didn't make her do that. But yet she's up there doing it. And I'm saying a whole host of other things. Lizzo up there with her big ass twerking all over the place. These black women that went to the Elmina Castle in Ghana, which is where we were stripped from our homeland and sold into bondage. Our ancestors were sold into bondage, and they're up there on top of the castle twerking. And then when they get checked about it, they like, can't no bitches have no fucking fun. This is y'all. We ain't doing this. This is y'all creating and reinforcing your own fucked up reputation. You know what I mean? And then and when black men are able to go around and navigate and do whatever, and y'all can't do exactly the same thing, y'all mad. Y'all want to talk all crazy and talk all type of shit and make 1,000,001 fucking videos. And I'm like, yo, everybody knows who you are because you're so loud with it and you're so, I'm doing whatever the hell I want to do. And it's fucked up. You got even other races of women that are rebellious, just as rebellious as you. They look at you as a point of inspiration. You know what I mean? But the minute that they got some benefits coming their way, they quickly, switch up and then maintain none of the reputation that is squarely placed on you. You know what I mean? They drop that shit like a bad habit. Oh, Prince Charming is here. Hold on. Hold my drink. Let me go grab my apron. I thought you weren't about it. Silence. You know what I mean? She put that shit on. Next thing you know, she turning on the vacuum cleaner. You know what I mean? She's not using profanity anymore. She's just she don't smoke anymore. I mean, she's hitting the gym. I mean, she's just doing everything. But y'all running around with this stupid shit. And again, like, and I'm saying, if Steve Harvey was, that these dudes was black. If Steve Harvey was like, yo, I put you on. I put you on. You know what I mean? And what did Keke do? I mean, just think about. Remember when that real pretty woman, it was funny because she kind of looked like Keke Palmer in a way, was on the Steve Harvey show. I think it was like the Family Feud or whatever. And the girl, she was like 30 something, and Steve was like, "Wait, you're 30? What?" Like, I forget how old she was, but she was in her 30s, and Steve was like, "I got sons." He was like, "I got sons." Like he was ready to hook her. He was like, "Oh, you a fine little thing." You know what I mean? Had that light skinned woman. She was in the background, like, "Well, what about me, Steve?" She was salty. Steve was like, "Yeah, all right, bitch, but you ain't got it like this, sister." And it was so funny is she really did look like Keke. But nah, I'm just saying, Steve Harvey trying to put you on. If you don't get your bitch act right together in a situation like that, I mean, what more can be done for you? I mean, seriously, what more can be done for you? Steve Harvey, all the people he knows, all the connection he has, every brother in the entertainment industry, athlete, whatever, everybody knows who Steve Harvey is. And I'm sure Steve Harvey know a lot of damn people. And I'm saying Steve Harvey isn't even somebody I agree with all the time, because him and like TD Jakes, they get up there talking that simping shit, you know what I mean? But, again, I'm like, he saw Keke, was like, "Hey, I'm going to put you on." And what did she do? She fucked it up. She fucked it up. And we've been said this. We've been said this is what y'all do. This is not a matter of your lack of choice, your lack of opportunity, your lack of, oh, the black man is this, that. No, bullshit. Bullshit. Motherfuckers can hand you some shit on a silver platter, and most of you will fuck it up. And then when time passes you by, and then you're in a situation where you can't go out here and have any do-overs and correct the situation, right? Now it's niggas' fault. It's every black man else's fault, and you're gonna go on Oprah and you're gonna cry, and the numbers are not available and all this other bullshit. This not only is this embarrassing, but this should silence. And I know it's not going to do that. It's not going to have that effect because all y'all are delusional, like the women sitting over there listening to Samantha Cooker. This is not going to have the effect that it should, which is y'all should be like, "Damn, we are that fucked up." But you're not going to do that. I'll admit, light skinned dude that got with Keke, I'm like, nigga, I don't know what you were thinking. I don't know what made you think that you were going to run shit. How many years have I been online talking about you're not going to run shit on a bitch's dime? How many years have I been online saying that? Well, this nigga just walked into it. Nigga, that's on you. No sympathy card here. Nigga, that's on you. But see, that's easy for me to say. I can say that, and I'm going to get backed up by a whole bunch of brothers on that shit. They be like, "Damn, B, like, yeah, that's embarrassing." Because you feel that when you're in that type of position. You can't get away with it. It's inescapable. You know what I'm saying? And men are more realistic with themselves about situations like that. Men will rip into other men and clown each other for situations like that. You know what I mean? Is that your car? Is that your bitch car? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, nah. But when it comes to black women, y'all are in denial about this shit. And then you want to come on the internet going boo-hoo. I mean, how many more black female celebrities do we have to see that date down intentionally because they want to not only be in charge, they want to do whatever the fuck they want to do. They want to go out here, have a baby, operate like they're single and free. They still think that they have the same value. You know what I mean? Like, Keke was a fantasy to a lot of men. But after a baby, she ain't a fantasy no more. Anytime I'm on IG and I'm, looking at some chick, and there's been a couple chicks that, you're looking at, you're like, "Damn, it's a good badass bitch," right? You follow and everything else like that. And then she got a baby bump. Unfollow. I'm not following, moms. I'm not following moms. I don't need to be thinking about, getting my rocks off and all this other shit, having all these sexual fantasies and everything. And you are mother to a whole nother person. No, that fucks up my fantasy. You know what I mean? It's like when you go on like Pornhub or some shit, and one of the things I can't stand is like when I'm watching porn, and then you're sitting there and you're watching it and you're getting all worked up, and then out of nowhere the woman, and you typically it's a white woman, because white men have all these ancestral fantasies and shit. They'll be like, oh yeah, you like that? You like when mommy does that? I'm like, bitch, you done fucked it up. What's with the mommy stuff? Come on. No. I don't need that in my head. Mommy nothing. I mean, what is it? They got all these like stepmom fantasy. You ever notice the white boys, they do that shit in pornography and whatnot, right? That's not for black people. That's for white people. It's a white female actress and a white male, and they're doing fucking your stepmom type of shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, for y'all to put that shit out there, who's the real sexual deviants? Again, black folks ain't got no secret islands where they, try to coerce people and blackmail them by bringing a bunch of, underage people there to have sex and film and go off, on some evil muhaha shit. Like, nah, that we know who that is. Plus, you got all of Hollyweird. Then you got the Catholic Church. Like, who's the real sexual deviants? But anyway, what was I going to say? Let me think. I don't know what more evidence black men need. You know what I mean? And this evidence isn't for black men because we already know this. We've been saying this. We've been pointing this out. But I don't know what more evidence black women in particular need, that many of them need to, seek therapy, try to work these issues out that they want to deny instead of playing victim all the time. Because y'all playing victim, it doesn't resolve anything. Keke had the options to get with better quality men, and she fucked it up. And now she's dealing with this. Now she's dealing with a man's insecurities. Now she's dealing with a man trying to tell her what to do who can't tell her what to do, which is what she wanted in the first place. So how is this whole scenario more on him or more about him than it is about her? How? Why do you all, black women as a collective online, why do you all keep trying to frame it like that? This is what the fuck Keke wanted. She didn't want the millionaires. She disqualified. And Steve even said it. If you watch the 9-minute clip, it's like 9 minutes and 33 seconds. If you watch that, Steve said it. He was like, you're not going to be able to bring a man into, your lifestyle. Like that, again, wrong orientation. And again, what did we always say? A lot of black women have the wrong orientation. That's why you're not wifey material. It's not the color of your skin. It's not colorism. It's this shit. Y'all, a lot of y'all want to, want the big piece of chicken. Y'all want to pull your dick out and lay it across a nigga's forehead, right? Y'all want the Jaws music, as Patrice O'Neal said. Y'all want that to be your theme music, or as Ali Wong, you want a side piece. You know what I mean? You want male rewards for your, economic success, in your careers, but that's not how the world works. Only way that can happen is for a dude to play a bitch position, a dude to play a subordinate position. Those are only men that are going to play with you like that and get themselves caught up in situations like that. You have the wrong orientation. And again, this rolls right into why sisters, have a problem and are going to have a problem, most sisters, when it comes to going over the fence and dealing with other races of men. Because you have the wrong orientation. I mean, plain and simple. Wrong orientation. And you reinforce it all the damn day. I mean, there should be no reason why a woman as attractive as Keke Palmer needed to get with this light-skinned Panamanian dude that we don't even know what he does. There's no reason. Steve Harvey literally opened the door for her to talk to millionaires. You know what I mean? Literally opened the door. Fucked it up. Fucked it up. And his own daughter, his stepdaughter, like I said, she's fucking up. It's like chick, you running around, having fun, celebrity shit, and maybe marriage isn't for you, but all this, I'm gonna mess with Future, and then I'm gonna mess with Michael B. Jordan, and then I'm gonna mess with this, this other like B-list actor or whatever, It's like okay, and next week on Dragon Ball Z, Lori Harvey sits on another, B celebrity's dick. I'm like, how many? So we're already up to 3, that we know about, right? And it's gonna be another. Oh, she's with this other person. I'm like, oh man. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I would be like one of them recluse celebrities that like, you don't like. I keep my private life private and shit like that. I'd be on some Keanu Reeves shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how I would be. Who I'm with, the relationships I'm with. I wouldn't be talking to any paparazzi. You know what I mean? Like that's what it would be. I'm come out the club with the sunglasses on, shuffled into the Suburban and roll the fuck out. They be trying to take these obscure pictures of who I'm with. That's just me. But yeah, man. Women are. A lot of black women these days, I mean, they're literally trying to be men. They're trying to be dudes. And it just doesn't work that way. Like Ali Wong said, the if a woman gets, money, power, and respect, she doesn't get the same type of rewards. The world is not built for them like that. This goes back to James Brown, it's a man's world. And when these women try to play these games, they end up with scenarios like this. Now it's like, oh, she dated down. Oh, she dated down. Like, in a minute, I don't know. Maybe y'all should change the language. Because if this is what you all want, then you're going to have to remove the shaming language from these type of scenarios. Because it doesn't make sense to do that if this is truly what you want. It makes no sense. Because you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? You can't date up and get with a subordinate dude at the same time. You can't date up and get with a dude that's going to let you walk all over him and you just go out there and do what you want to do and have your ass out. No self-respecting man that has, beat the odds, especially a black man, is going to allow you to do that. You know what I mean? That's not the fantasy. The fantasy is not to have a woman, that disrespects you by putting her body out there, after, y'all, created and started a family. You're not going to get men like that. And I'm saying what's the sad part is it's just like with the, the freaking, what do they call it? The twins, the Maori, the girls that are on the View, the one that divorced her husband and everything. It's like, she doing all type of goofy shit. Ain't nobody lining up for that. You know what I mean? You a whole mother. Is she up there trying to post all these sexy pictures and shit like that? I just saw a recent picture of, Tracy Ellis Ross. She trying to post it. I'm like, chick, like you are definitely post wall at this point. Like, no. You know what I mean? Still, I mean, just up there, still, posting these type of, images and whatnot, thinking like that they're gonna go out here and like Keke's gonna go out here and get with another dude. Like, no. Like, no. Now you're going back on the market as a mother. That's a whole different dynamic. When it comes down to a dude that wants to, travel the world, do things, get you flued out and everything else like that, right? No, you can't be doing no shit like that. So it's just crazy how a lot of these women, think that they can be, have babies and go out here and be, perpetually young. And that's another thing when it comes to Keke is like, and any guy that wants to get with any of these women that are a celebrity, yeah, there is a degree of if you go out here and you get with a woman that makes her money being a public figure, you are going to have to share her with the world to some degree. You know what I mean? Like beautiful women that are celebrities and shit like that, they do make their money off of their beauty. Now, I'm not saying she got to have her cheeks out, but, is she going to be up there on Jay Leno in a tight black dress and some, open-toed 5-inch heel shoes? Most likely. You know what I mean? And you gotta accept that. You know what I mean? I mean, they'll still have like Julia Roberts up on television, and people be like, "Oh my God, I remember her from Pretty Woman. She's so beautiful." Blah 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 blah. But she's a mother. You know what I mean? Like you can sit there and you can admire her beauty. Oh, she's aged gracefully and shit like that. But all that, I want to rub my dick on her face. Like no, no. She is a full grown, parent. And I don't know why people don't think about these things. But like I said, dude is just, I'm like, hey, you fucked up. And she's on some, mama matriarch, I do what I want type of shit. And, we've been said that. I mean, Captain Solo right now feels vindicated as a motherfucker, because he was saying this shit back in 2008 to 2010. Again, during that Cat Fu series, he said it right in the video. That was 2010. He said it right in the video. You know what I mean? You all are going out here and you're avoiding dudes so that you can call shots in the relationship. And then you'll date down only for you to turn around and complain about, he's not on my level. You'll say, man, you're looking for somebody, that's that has their shit together, but then you avoid them and then complain about them not being on your level. I'm just paraphrasing, but he said that. A lot of people, sometimes I wish my original channel was up, because then people would really be able to see the dates, of these videos that were that long ago. They'd really be able to see the dates. So I got to put the dates in there. But again, he said these things. And everybody poo-pooed on Cap. They name called him. Oh, you're wrong. All this other bullshit. And here we are. I mean, this has been proven multiple times over the years, but somehow it still has not sunk in to the collective of the black community. Only it's still just in pockets here and there on YouTube, but it hasn't. It just hasn't sunken in. Black women are still running around the internet, running around the social media and mainstream media, pretending like the only reason that they're single is because, they can't find anybody on their level and they don't have options. But yet every time, without fail, there is, a pool of men, that for one woman to choose from, they always fuck it up. They run in the other direction, find reasons for disqualification. I'm like, that's the pool that you should be picking from. The fuck is wrong with you? But instead, they go out there and they get what they want, which is what we've been saying about the Ray Ray and Pookie situation. Ray Ray and Pookie is, no, I'm getting with Ray Ray and Pookie because there's just nothing else available. No, you want Ray Ray and Pookie, which is why many of you all will not have just one of his babies, but you will have 2 and 3 of his babies. I'll give a woman a pass, if she just has one and was like, yeah, I fucked up and ain't doing that shit again. You know what I mean? Not that that's going to really, cause her to win, but at least I could, not condemn her because, she recognized the error of her ways and the fact that she fucked up. But these other women, 2, 3, 4 kids by the same quote unquote Dusty, like, bitch, get the fuck out of my face, man. You knew exactly what you were doing and you did it over and over and over again. So I'm pretty much done with this video. I'm just glad that this is here for documentation purposes. I'm glad that this is being pointed out. I'm making a little time capsule for young men of the future to see this and recognize it, because I guarantee you, even after I'm gone, these women will sit up in here and they will deny the shit. Somebody even wrote a comment about that in my comment section about how, I don't know whether it was framed like they feel bad for the younger black women, but the fact of the matter is they don't know. Like, they get online, they hear Cynthia G and they like, oh, we're victims, right? They don't know the bullshit that has been exposed, on these women. Like they're only getting the story from the women. They're not getting the story from the men. So there's a whole bunch of young women that literally like just turned 18 or 20 or 22, and they're like, oh, black men hate us. And, and they're all like in their feelings and shit. And they're like, yeah, girl. The older black women are like, it's self-hate because these colorist niggas and da 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 da. They don't want to have no conversation about, actually, we've been on this bullshit for the past, 40 years, and this is what we've been on. Like, they're not gonna fucking say that shit. Hell no. They're going to play the victim. They're going to bust out the violins and talk about how grandma had to carry 15 children on her back in the snow and didn't have any shoes. And it was all because, grandpa was out there gambling all the family savings away and drinking liquor and buying, white prostitutes, you know what I mean? And bringing, and not only that, he brought back grandma gonorrhea, you know what I mean? Like they want to tell all these bullshit ass stories. Not saying that black men are perfect, but the women, they just want to bathe and exist in victimhood. And I'm like, Keke is not a victim. Nicki Minaj is not a victim. Sierra is not a victim. But y'all keep trying to, paint it that way. Multi-millionaire women got opportunities to get with multi-millionaire men, and they don't take it. They don't take it because they don't want to tone down who the fuck they are. They don't want to live in a man's shadow. They want to be the center of the attention. They want to be the sun, and all of the the men in their life are like the planets orbiting them. That's what they want. They don't want traditionalism, male leadership, none of that stuff. Even though at the level that they're at, they could find a man that's at that level. Men even within their own industry. But they don't want that because they don't want traditional structure. And I'm saying that starts out before these women are even celebrities. That is a cultural black community thing, which is what we've been saying. It is a cultural belief system. It is a cultural code of conduct and behavior, that these women just bring into their success. They bring it right into their success. It's just crazy. Just looking at it. And then recently we had that whole Ebony K. Williams fiasco. It's a trip. It is a trip just looking at the whole situation. But like I said, I'm glad it's being exposed. But with that said, I want to keep this under an hour. So that's my video, SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.